welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher. So let's jump right into it. We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is going on, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and thank you for joining me for another Hot 10 breakdown of the week. If you guys aren't familiar with this video, I take the 10 hottest comics according to the Key Collector app, and I break them down for you guys, letting you know which I be buying, and of course, which I be staying away from. But before we get started in the video, like always, I want to remind you guys, if you're not a current subscriber of the channel, do me a favor, go ahead, click that sub button, because once we get to 6,000 subs, I'm giving away this. So for the 6,000 subscriber giveaway, I've decided to give away this awesome Hulk vs. Wolverine maquette, measured in about 1/10 scale, and of course features the incredible cover from Incredible Hulk number 181. So if you're a sub, when we get to 6,000, you have a chance to win this awesome statue. But that's not it. If you are a member of the channel, you're going to have a members only giveaway, and we're giving away this awesome custom original art Spider-Man swinging through New York City. So if you're not a member of the channel and are interested, you have a chance to win this amazing original art. Like always, I want you to hit that like button for me and check out all the new merch I have for sale down below. The link is in the description of every video. With that said, let's get into this week's breakdown. At number 10 this week is a copy of Strange Worlds number 4, an early Golden Age science fiction comic, and a CGC 6.5, just sold the prior week for $3,250, up an insane 91% over the average. We also had a CGC 2.5 sale for $405, up 19% over the average. I will say this, I have no idea why this book is on the Hot 10 breakdown of the week. Not sure if this book is hot right now, not sure if it's a key. Either way, I love pre-code horror books. I love science fiction covers. However, I'm not shelling out the money for this book here right now until I find out why it's hot. Coming in at the 9 spot this week is a copy of House of Secrets number 92, and the first appearance and origin of the original Swamp Thing, Alex Olsen, and a CGC 9.4, a super high grade copy, just sold last week for a whopping $14,400, up 3% over the average. We also had a CGC 8.0 sale for $3,360, up 9% over the average. Then we had a CGC 5.0 sell for $1,349, up 19% over the average. This book has been on and off the list for the better part of a couple of months. You guys know this is my go-to book for Swamp Thing. I don't want to own Swamp Thing number 1. I think it's too much money. I'd rather have the true first appearance, even though I know it's a totally different Swamp Thing. For me, this is the book to buy, one of the best of the Bronze Age. Falling to number 8 this week is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 41 and the first appearance of the Rhino. Man, I absolutely love this cover by the great John Romita, one of the most underrated covers that he has done. And a CGC 6.0 just sold last week for $649, up 20% over the average. Then we had a CGC 5.0 sale for $460, up only 1% over the average. I'm super excited to finally see the Rhino show up in a movie. However, I am sad that it's going to be in that Kraven movie, because I know it's not going to be a good film. That's just my hunch. Sony destroys everything that they touch. However, I'm not going out right now and buying this book only for that fact. I absolutely love this cover. I love this book. I have 2 copies of it, but now is not the time. Wait for that movie to come out and then pounce on your copy. At number 7 this week, and falling from the 2 spot, is a copy of Ultimate Fallout 4 and the first appearance of Miles Morales, and a CGC 9.8 just sold last week for only $1,982, up 1% over the average. You know, this book was around $1,500, then it went up to about $1,800, then we had that $2,300 sale, now back down to $1,900 and change. I'm saying hold off on this book. Yes, long term I want to own it, but I'm waiting for this book to come back down to $1,500, $1,600, and that's when I'm going to pounce. At the 6th spot on this list is a brand new one. It is a copy of Conan the Barbarian number 1 and the first appearance of Conan, and a CGC 9.0 just sold the prior week for $900, up 4% over the average. Then we had a CGC 8.0 sale for $621, up another 8% over the average. Then we had a 5.5 sale for $350, up a crazy 19% over the average. Again, I love this book. I've owned it many times in the past, but right now, what is the motivation to go out and buy this book? Are they doing another Conan movie? I do not think so, so I'm not sure why it's on this list. Either way, do your due diligence and find out if you want to buy this book. Coming in at number 5 this week is a copy of Wolverine #1 and this iconic cover by the great Frank Miller. This is also the first appearance of Yukio, and a CGC 9.8 just sold last week for $753, up 9% over the average. Then we had a CGC 9.6 sell for only $300, up again 9% over the average. Again, I've said it before, this is a book that you must own in your collection. I don't want to spend $300 or higher to buy this book. If you can get a 9.0 to a 9.2 for around $150, that's really where I want to be on this book. Coming in at number 4 this week is one of my favorite books of all time. It is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 50 and the trifecta, the first appearance of the Kingpin, this classic storyline Spider-Man No More, and of course this iconic cover by the great John Romita. You guys know John Romita is my favorite artist, and there are bangers on this list featuring that man. And a CGC 8.5 just sold the prior week for a whopping $5,600, up a crazy 25% over the average. Then we had a CGC 3.0 sell for $595, up another 8% over the average. Then we had a lowly CGC 2.5 for $500, up 7% over the average. Man, this book is selling like hotcakes right now. I actually have around a 3.5 raw copy that I'm selling for $650 if anybody's interested. But other than that, you guys know that I'm always wanting to own this book. I actually have 3 copies in the collection as we speak. My personal copy is CGC 8.0 signed by Stan Lee and John Romita. Man, I'm glad I bought that book when I did. It's always a buy for me. At the 3 spot this week is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 78 and the first appearance of the Prowler, Hobie Brown, and a CGC 5.5 just sold last week for $175, up 9% over the average. Then we had a CGC 4.0 sale for only $140, up 11% over the average. We saw this week there were some high grades selling for this book. For me, I'm sticking to the low to mid grades for this one. I don't want to shell out the kind of cash it's going to take to get a high grade copy. So if you want to own the book, I suggest mid to low grade just to have it. Other than that, I'd be staying away. At number 2 this week is my all-time favorite cover in comics. It is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 39 and this classic John Romita cover featuring the Green Goblin and Spider-Man. This is also the issue where they find out each other's identities. And a CGC 9.8, folks, just sold last week for a whopping $52,800, up 29% over the average. I wonder how often that grade sells in this book. And a CGC 5.5 also sold for only $550, up 55% over the average. You guys know I absolutely love this book. I'm kind of biased when it comes to it. So for me, I own a couple of copies of it because I absolutely love this cover. But for you, you really have to see if you want to own this book. It's not an investment book, just an awesome cover and a great Spider-Man key. But for me, it's always a buy. At number 1 this week for the second week in a row, it is a copy of Spider-Man 2099 number 1 and the first appearance and origin of Spider-Man 2099. Now, there's some rumors out there. Some people prefer Spider-Man 365, that 5-page preview, as the first appearance. So I'm not too sure what's going on. But either way, if you want to own this book, a CGC 9.8 just sold last week for only $186, up 26% over the average. But let's not forget that this book last week was over $200 and a 9.8, so it's already falling. I've always said this. I just found this last week at my LCS for $15, a raw copy. So why are we shelling out $200 plus for a copy of this one? Is just not worth it. If you want to own the book, get yourself a copy that's raw. Don't spend a high dollar amount that it's going for. Graded. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. A lot of great books are on this list. Some of my favorites as well. It is now time for my best buy of the week, and every time I see this book on a list, it's always worth choosing in my opinion. It is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 50 and the trifecta, first Kingpin, classic cover, and amazing storyline. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.